Well, it doesn't seem that long ago that we were here in Melbourne for the 2006 Commonwealth Games, and as you can see behind me, we are only 1 year away from the 2014 renewal of the Commonwealth Games, and one of the hopeful jackaroos to make her way into the squad for the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow is Kelsey Cottrell, who joins us here at the launch today. And Kelsey, 1 year to go. Although you're not selected in the team just yet, it must give you a great appetite to make that team.
Oh, definitely. India was a great experience, but obviously coming away with a bronze medal. I lost one game all event. It's probably the most heartbreaking event I've ever been a part of. Glasgow's definitely been something that I've been looking at for a couple of years, and I want to get there and I want to succeed.
Tell us a little bit about the Commonwealth Games experience from a village point of view and an opening closing ceremony and all those types of team environment aspects. What's the feeling like?
I explain to people it makes me feel like I'm actually like a sports person. It makes me feel like I'm a part of an Australian team. Obviously representing Australia any time, any place is wonderful. But to be a part of a Commonwealth Games, it's just so exciting. Like there's such a buzz around it and the village, and you get to see all these athletes, and you congratulate them when you see they win gold, and you really feel like you sort of thrive off what they're doing as well.
The Australian Jackaroos team have put a lot of effort into preparation already so far by training camps here in Melbourne at Maribyrnong in Glasgow light conditions. What happens now for the next 12 months in terms of your own preparation to ensure that you're a selection in that team?
Yeah, so Maribyrnong Park was a great chance for the Australian team to have some conditions that are going to mirror Glasgow. So we had our selection trials there. For the girls team, we're now down to 6, although our squad is still 8 and everyone's still a chance, and anyone from outside the squad can still make the team. In 3 weeks' time, we head to Glasgow for the 8 Nations. Important for us to do well over there. I think people that go well over there will really have their foot in the door, I suppose, for the Commonwealth Games. Other than that, we'll have a few selection trials down the track. We've got the Trans-Tasman in March, so hopefully come March we'll have an indication of who's going to the Games.
The two competitions that bowlers speak of about being the pinnacle of their sport is World Championships and Commonwealth Games. We're off the back of a really successful World Championships in Adelaide, 5 gold, 2 silver. Different conditions, fast greens in Adelaide, into Glasgow, slower greens. What do you take out of the World Championships into a potential Commonwealth Games appearance?
Unfortunately, there's probably not much we can take away from the World Championships except the fact that we won, and I suppose we've got the confidence to do it again. But in terms of how we did it, how we approached it, everything changes. Everything that we did at the World Championships now doesn't mean anything for selection. It's all about how we play on slow tracks. So that's why practicing on slow tracks wherever we can is very important. For me, I'm on the Gold Coast, so we've got a club at Southport that's willing to slow a few rings down for us, down to about that 10-11 second pace. So that's really important for our preparation. We'll spend a lot of time there.
National coach Steve Glasson has indicated Commonwealth Games selection for a country like Scotland is horses for courses. So preparation into greens that you can source yourselves like that is just so powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think around the country, Steve is working with a few people to just find greens, and even if it's not a whole green, it's just a rink that we can get to. And worst case scenario, we'll end up practicing on croquet greens. Just anything that puts us outside our comfort zone. Obviously, Australia's got the best greens, or Australia and New Zealand have probably got the best greens in the world. And unfortunately, we won't be able to utilise them. But hopefully we'll be able to slow a few rinks down and get some good practice in.
Just in closing, you flagged the idea of retirement maybe after the 2014 Commonwealth Games. That would make it 2 Com Games and 2 World Championships. Do all your focus of attention now head towards making this final team for Scotland?
Yes. I've said for a long time that after the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, I probably want to focus on my career. So I'll be 24. It'll be a young retirement age for a lawn bowler, but we'll just see what happens. See what kind of career I end up with. See if they're accommodating to the fact that I play for my country, and if not, I'm willing to probably put my career first, and maybe, who knows, come back to bowls down the track.
Good luck in making the team.
Thank you.
One of the most familiar faces in Australian sports history is marathon runner Steve Moneghetti, a 4 times Commonwealth Games medalist, including gold in Canada in 1994. He is, for the 2nd consecutive year, the appointed chef de mission for the Commonwealth Games team, and he was at the launch to celebrate 1 year to go. Steve, a 4 times Commonwealth Games competitor yourself. again, a year to go until 2014. You look like you're pretty excited.
Oh, very excited. Love Commonwealth Games. You know, they're just part of the Australian psyche. We love going to Commonwealth Games. We love watching them. We love competing there because we go very well at Commonwealth Games. So it's kind of like our games.
What's one of your fondest memories?
Oh, it's pretty hard to go past that debut marathon, you know, having ran the 10K and sort of just stepped up to the marathon almost as an afterthought and win a bronze medal. And on that day, Lisa Ondieki won the women's gold medal and Rob won the men's. So what a fantastic day it was for Australian distance running.
You know as well as anyone about acclimatising to conditions for your particular discipline, being marathon running. Our bowlers have done the same thing in terms of preparing in Glasgow-like conditions here in Melbourne recently. How important is that in your eyes in terms of making sure that you're climate ready?
Oh, obviously you do. That's one of the things you can control. Some things, the other competitors, sometimes, you know, the lead up isn't what you like, but you can actually control. You know what the climate's going to be. You know, you work on the greens, have a practice. Are they fast? Are they slow? You need to know what turf they're using. So the climatic conditions are one thing you can really focus on. And in Glasgow, it mightn't be as hot and as humid as, say, it has been in Delhi, maybe even Kuala Lumpur in '98. So those different conditions, you know, they provide another challenge, but certainly, you know, you've got the opportunity to make sure you're well prepared in that regard.
We as fans know what it's like to sit on the sidelines and wave our green and gold boxing kangaroos. Tell us a little bit about the environment around the Common Games, the village, the opening closing ceremonies.
Don't worry, I'm a fan. I love being there and cheering them on. That's the one great thing with my role. You know, I get to go out and support a lot of the athletes. You know, I have the best seat in the house, and to be able to provide an environment where the athletes just focus on their performance, that's our challenge. We have a village that's very settled. We have all the transport ready to go because that's the focus. It's settling in the village, having good food, good sleep, and then you transport out to either training or then on competition day to make sure that that all works smoothly so that the athletes can focus on their own performance. That's our challenge, and that's what we do behind the scenes. We make sure that that environment is ready for them, so when they get out there they can focus wholly and solely on their performance.
A year to go, tell us about what the last year of preparations means to an athlete in terms of how much cramming you can do and sort of when you start to taper and pick it up again.
365 sleeps. It's not that many really, and from an athlete's point of view, most of them will be in really serious training now, and they'd be looking at the calendar and saying, well, we need to get up for this competition, this is one of the selection trials, so they'll be already working out their calendar so that almost every day they know what they're doing from now until July 23 next year at that opening ceremony in Glasgow. So it's a very meticulous program. They'll be working with their coaching and their team staff to make sure they know what they need to do to be in the best shape they are when the games come around. So it's a lot of hard work and preparation now. Then it's picking and choosing, sort of fruit picking the competitions that are appropriate for you so that you get selected, so that once you then get close to the games, you know all of that's taken care of.
We know that you might have a slight bias towards one particular sport, but is there somebody or something that you're looking forward to in 2014 in Glasgow?
Track cycling is one of my favourite events actually. It's and that's the advantage of having been on so many teams. You get to go out and look at a lot of other sports, and I just love the sound of track cycling if you're there, because to me it's about the athletes, and when you're hearing the sound and the buffeting on the bike is really special. So for me, you know, it gives me an opportunity. And remember, the 18 sports that are represented here, a lot of those sports are not mainstream sports. So I really enjoy allowing those sports to get the public recognition and attention that their athletes deserve.
And one man who has one of the most important jobs heading into the Glasgow 2014 Games is the Chief Executive Officer of the Australian Commonwealth Games Association, Perry Crosswhite, and we caught up with him to chat about how preparations are progressing. Well, Perry, I don't know about you, but it seems just like yesterday that we were here in Melbourne for the 2006 Games. 1 year to go until 2014, 8 years on. How excited are you?
Oh, this is fantastic. I mean, the Glasgow Games were always going to be one of those, you know, they're iconic type contests, and particularly in one of the home countries which has had the, you know, games twice before. It'll be a great games.
Tell us a little bit about how the next 12 months pan out for the Australian Commonwealth Games Association and how much work now goes into preparing our athletes across 18 sports.
Well, this is as they say, the money time. This is the time, 12 months to go, when everything has to be done that you couldn't do before. Selection of the teams, you have to set the qualifications, the getting of the uniforms, the travel, all of the sponsorship programs, the fundraising programs, the communications and media work that has to be done. and also making sure that what is going to happen in Glasgow for our team in respect to things outside the village, in the village, that it's all conducive to make sure that the athletes can compete at their best possible way.
Tell us how important it is for success for Australia from a Commonwealth Games Association point of view for us to send the best of the best. Every sport has its elite players involved. How important is it for us to really make sure that we're standing on the world stage?
Well, it's important really for the pride of the nation, but also for the Commonwealth Games itself internationally, that the best athletes from Australia go to the Games. And the best athletes from each of the sports are selected and give their total commitment to perform at their best. If you didn't, you would end up with a situation where people said, oh, well, maybe it's just some sort of participatory event. And it is more than that. It's a very competitive event, and that's the thing that will always maintain the interest in it among Australians.
With 12 months to go, is there something particular that you're looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to our swimmers doing really well after maybe some of the criticism that's happened of them in the last 12 months. That's important. I'm also interested in all of our sports, particularly our middle-level sports, where these athletes that never get any sort of publicity in the broad media, that they have a chance to shine in the sun, stand up there in front of everyone and say, we did this for Australia. That's important.
From a bowls point of view, our athletes tell us that the Commonwealth Games and World Championships are the two pinnacle events. We've just come off the back of a successful World Championships in Adelaide. Commonwealth Games for them now is the next challenge, and plans are already afoot to select the best players for that competition, and we know that we're going to send a really competitive team.
Absolutely. I've been watching the recent results, and we're really pleased with that. Bowls is a sport that depends a lot on what happens in local conditions and things like that, but I think our athletes are capable to change according to what's there, and I'm expecting a lot of our bowlers in Glasgow, and I don't think they'll let us down.